the cloud.
Okay,
All righty.
sweet. Okay. Well, I am super excited to be here tonight to present on third-party validation. So, my name is Sean Johnson. I'm out of Phoenix, Arizona. And the end of March will be my 9-year anniversary with this company. Super excited. Yeah, so very excited to start sharing on a third party. But before I do that, actually, just a couple reminders. So the Monday motivational call, that's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's great validation, giving testimonies, either business or product or both. And it's a quick 30 minutes, is succinct and or shorter. And it just gives you, they're great stories to get prospects on. And it can actually be a great third party validation. Well, in a certain way of tool, but validation. And if you aren't aware of that or need information on it, get with your team or your upline to get that login. But Monday motivational call at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard. And then the other announcement is just we're halfway through the current incentive trip promo to Whistler. So if you're working towards that, want to see where you are, again, get with your upline or your team and see where you are, how you can access it, because it ends the window of opportunity to earn it is the end of March. So we're a little over halfway through. All right. Okay, I am going to dive in. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen here. Let me know when you can see it. Everyone can see it okay? All right, perfect. Okay, so as a refresher of just our system, the invite tool team essentially, but just a deeper dive into all of it. You start off at the top of the screen, you share your story, and then you invite to a tool. Where that's a product video or the tool can be an opportunity overview. That's number three. And then it's plugging in to the invite tool team. You got the team, and that five could land up in that 3 or 4 slot as well. But it's bringing in that third party validation to validate why. This third party validation is not something that's typically done. Mia said this the other night. I love that. It's so true. Is third party validation is typically not done in any other business model or traditional business model. So, but we are a word of mouth business, and this is a part of that. And let's be honest, we've got people in our life. I know me. Um, I have. I'm that person that can easily be sold on anything. I just love everything. I'm so open, and so like if I need to bring in third party with a lot of people that particularly know me well, because they're like, well, she likes everything. Let's see if this is really real, right? And so bringing in that third party validation to validate, like, oh yeah, she's really onto something. There's a reason why she is sharing this with me. So and another part is why you want to bring in is you want to leverage your upline's experience and support, especially if you're new in the business or even later on. Our upline have been in this a long time. They've got the experience. And so when somebody is thinking of either doing the business or the testimonies on for a product story, you want somebody who's lived in and experienced it so they can see themselves in this story, see themselves building this business or taking these products. You also accelerate your business and your ability to build your network. It's not about closing the current prospects. It's just about learning how to do it better and connecting them with additional information and validation. And then it allows your prospect to feel more confident in joining a team with strong leadership, seeing that your upline is available, that they do have support. The moment we start sharing with them, whether it's a product or business, and if they decide to do the business with us, or thinking about it, right? They see how you do. From the moment you open your mouth to start sharing this, they're going to start duplicate what you're doing. So this allows them to go, oh, they're not doing it alone. Oh, I can get that third party validation. So this beautiful diagram, right? You got you, your guest, and your third party support. So how can your third party help you? They can share success stories, provide insights on the business model, or just build that further validation on the product or the business model. They can help handle objections, help with the close, help your prospect get enrolled. They can book a follow-up appointment, help them get to the next event. It allows the prospects to feel more comfortable in hearing from somebody who's already achieved success in the business or show them that they can do this. Again, that duplicatable mindset. And just to give a couple examples of this, so how a third party can help. So one of my best friends, she's my Angie Harper and I'm the Tara Wilson. She is my best friend for a long time. And she said no when I first got in, again, because she's one of those, she's like, well, Sean says yes to a lot of things. So I don't know if I can trust her. And so I brought in years down the road. Now I'm years in this business, right? And she's got some health stuff. And I'm like, you really got to take a look at this. And so she's a PA, physician's assistant, has worked in the hospital for years. So for me, I knew she needed to hear from somebody who has some initials and medical credibility behind their name. So I had set up a third party with Melody Rodarte, Dr. Melody Rodarte. And it was a beautiful connection. And Melody was able to answer the questions that she had in a way that she understood. And was like, okay, yeah, so Sean's been doing this 9 years, and yeah, there is something to this. So that social proof there. And another thing too, the third party can also help in your business. If you've got some team members that are currently enrolled in the business, but you might have a difficult situation and you might need to bring in other validation for someone else to give that validation. Maurice is my upline, and someone might need to see, okay, she's done a lot more, or they want to hear from somebody from that angle, or they're struggling with getting to that next event. Or honestly, too, sometimes we're too close to people. I know I can be scared to just be bold and direct in having those that direct conversation. So that third party can come in and they don't know them. They're not afraid to ask those questions. And honestly, it's the most respectful thing to do is just to get direct of, so you want to do this or not? Do you want to change your life now or do you want to wait till later? That's a question that some people in my life, I may not feel comfortable asking that, but Marisa might, so that's where that third party support can also help you in your business to help accelerate and bring that validity behind it. And now ways to pull in that third party support. Do a text message, Facebook Messenger, using social media, FaceTime, Zoom, or in person. I'm very much a belly to belly person. So I like meeting for coffee. So getting in front of them. And then I have my meeting starts at 10, I will tell my third party support, I will anticipate about, 10:30, after we get the pleasantries and I get started, at least 10 or 15 minutes in, I want to be able to call that third party validation through the phone or is it FaceTime or Zoom, and then they're right there with me there. Now, what to say and how to initiate. So examples of a way to initiate a third party chat. Take a screenshot of this if you need it. I encourage you just to have these, and there's going to be a couple slides with these. So the first one is, I'd love to introduce you to a mentor or business partner. She's been with LifeVantage longer than I have, so she'll be able to share more and answer questions. Hopefully, after hearing your story, you'll be able to make an informed decision. Or another one, you've got to meet my mentor business partner. You two will totally hit it off. You have so much in common. I love the if here, if she's got time in her schedule this afternoon and I can get her on the phone, would you be open to chatting with her? That builds that value and importance of bringing in someone else. I have to justify their time, and I also want to I need you to know that it's worthy of your time of scheduling and getting this person on the phone or connected. Some more scripts. Have these on hand and then edit them in your speak in what makes sense to you, but here's some more. The next step is a conversation with my business partner. I want to give you another perspective. She's amazing and you'll really identify with her story. Or another one, these are great questions and it'd be better to have my business partner help in answering them. And then another one, after reviewing everything, I know you'll have some questions, so let's schedule time to talk so we can get them all answered. I'm going to invite my friend or business partner, or pitch however you need to join us. He will have another perspective, and together we can figure out if this is a good fit for you. Again, building that value and importance there. Then if you know your third-party schedule, ask your prospect, does today at 3 p.m. or tomorrow at noon work best for you? Just an idea. Or get 3 available times from the prospect and then work with that third party validator and say, hey, do either of these windows work to schedule call? Because if maybe that one third party validator, maybe it won't work. You have your idea. Like me, I had Melody Rodarte. If she wasn't available, I would have tried maybe Brett Brimhall or another doctor in the organization to have her talk to. So if they're not available, then in those windows, then you can always find another third party validator, but you want to make the connection and give your prospect, 2 to 3 windows so that they can choose. All right, now you have both parties connected. Prepare your third party support. So you're telling your third party everything they need to know for this to do this validation. So what your prospect has seen, what concerns your prospect has, maybe a little bit of history on your prospect, where they might stand, to give the third party validator as much info to prepare for the conversation and know where they can guide it or what might be sensitive points to make sure that they touch on. And now if the call is scheduled, make sure, again, just good etiquette. All right, the third party scheduled in a couple days. Send out, confirm to both your prospect and your third party validator. Send the night before, just confirming everybody's good for those time slots. And now you've got everybody on the phone. You've got your third party validator and you've got your prospect on the phone. So again, keep it short, and you want to edify your third party support to your prospect. So again, just like you did for the third party validator, or like you gave them a little bit of history of how they can help. You want to, same thing, like with my friend, it was important for her to understand who Melody was. So Melody actually sent me a little bit of a bio, and I was able to communicate that to her of, here's who she is. This is who you get to talk to, because I was baiting the hook to suit the fish so that she knew, okay, I've got a little bit of history of who she is, and elevating my third party support as to, yes, you should listen to this woman. And then 4, edify your prospect. Also lift your prospect up. Make a grand intro for your guest and how awesome they are. And, if it's business that's interests them, how they would make a great business partner. Who are they and why you're thinking of them, to elevate them to that third party person. So building that trust and rapport. And then the next most important thing, now you've got everybody on the phone, they're introduced, they're ready to go. Put yourself on mute, zip the lip, and let the third party validator do all the talking with the prospect. You stay out of it, let them handle it, and go from there. And then watch the time too. Back here on this screen, watch the time. Make sure that try to keep it tight, 10-15 minutes or wherever the conversation might lead. But be respectful. But yes, let them take over there. Am I going through this too fast? All right. Perfect. I know I can talk fast, I get excited, but I hope you guys are taking screenshots, and here we go. So the role of third-party support, just to further cement why you need to do this. Again, this isn't done in the traditional business model. It might feel weird or wonky or uncomfortable or whatever internal dialogue we might have with it. But it's such a vital important, like before I go into this, like just think of, women will know this probably more than maybe men on the call, but if we're out trying on a dress and we've got our friend or maybe our husband or whatnot with us, right? So we're trying on the dress and then they go, oh, it looks good. And you're like, well, they always tell me everything looks good or whatever. There's that little, I don't know yet, or whatever internal dialogue or maybe insecurities we have or whatever we're thinking through, right? Or even for the business, like, do I really want to do this? Blah, blah, blah. Like all those internal thoughts are going on. But then somebody else comes by, someone you don't know, that third party comes by and is like, ooh, yes, I really like that. That accentuates you and looks really good. There's a third party validation. I am much more inclined to buy that dress now versus that initial support. So, and then also too, where third party also comes in, today I was a product of that for deodorant. So I've seen online influencers, but influencers can be bought and sold. There's a lack of trust. I've heard we're in a trust recession, right? They can be sold and sell anything just to make money online. And so I was like, okay, so they kind of all get lumped into a thing. And I wasn't born with rose smelling armpits, so I need something that works. And And yeah, and I detox and all that stuff, and I still need support. So my third party validation though, so Kelly Slater was promoting this deodorant. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a professional snowboarder. And he's of a decent age and he's still killing it. And FYI, he's also a customer of LifeVantage. And it's so interesting. I know so many people that I'm like 1 or 2 degrees separated from him. So I hear so many amazing things, and like a man of integrity, he doesn't put his name behind something unless it really works and all this stuff. And so for some reason, it was like, oh, he's my third party validation and he's talking about this deodorant. So I bought the deodorant today. So this is the power of third party. And if we're doing it alone, even if you have all the answers and you know all the stuff and you can answer all the questions, let the third party come in to answer those questions or bring that validation. So they set the tone for the call. They're breaking that ice. They're asking more questions. They ask more questions if they need more of their story. Third party will share. They're going to make it relatable to them. They'll give facts, about the company or products or potential in a succinct, compelling way. Me, as you can hear, I talk really fast. So sometimes my third party can come in and say it in a slower way where they can absorb. Asking the prospect why. Why are they intrigued about the business? Get the why and repeat it back to him or her. Asking them what questions do they have or field any objections. And this is a great thing too that the third party validators can do is gauge readiness on a scale of 1 to 10. How interested are they in starting their own LifeVantage business? 1, you'd like to hang up the phone and run. Or 10, you're ready to lock arms with us and let's go. An 8 or above, they want to do this, they're just a little scared. Or 6 or 7, get them more tools and set up. It just gives you a gauge of how to support and whatnot. But this really is so, so, so important in ways to do it. And you can do third party validation too. I've also recently did this where I sent somebody the ABC and they're like, oh, I'm really intrigued. I want more. And then immediately it was, all right, I'm setting up a time and getting on the phone and pulling that third party right away. And I knew their history and they'd seen a little bit and it'd been a couple of years. And so I pulled a cross-line friend in just to bring in that validation. So, so key. So anyway, to close this out, now thinking about the importance of it, and this is something I'm actually doing as well, and even in preparing for this, is go back to previous conversations and see if there's a situation where you can introduce to third-party support. For those of us who've been in the business a long time, and I'll tell you, I was the one who grabbed a hold of this information and I researched everything, and I can read you the science. I can go super sciencey and I can go the business side and I know it all and I can answer all the questions. But I think that's where I've stunted myself. And so this is where we go, okay, for those of us who've been in the business, go back to previous prospects or people you've talked to and go, what support can I give them? What third party support would be good for this person to help? They're still intrigued. They're on the products, or, they're interested in business, but why haven't they said yes yet? Who in my business can I bring in that would relate to them and I think would be a good connector of like, hey, are you open for a 10-minute conversation and just see where you're at and maybe how this can be the next level? And then I can connect them to someone who might speak their speak, or, you got to hear from this person before you put it out of your mind. If I know that there's still some interest in what something might be holding them back, then what is that? So anyway, so think about that in as you're thinking through your business. So anyway, so that is that. So I'm going to stop sharing here. I think do we open it up for questions? I'm not sure. I think so. If anybody has any questions, and I haven't looked at the chat. Go
That
ahead.
was really good. I'm keeping my eye on the chat, and I don't think we have any questions. That was very to the point. If you guys aren't using third-party validation, definitely a great idea to implement that into your business. And if you haven't read Get Over Your Damn Self, I kind of want to read it again. It's been a few years. What a
Mm-hmm.
great book. So, Sean, I think that was great. It was short, sweet, succinct. You got to the point. I think we're good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Everybody
Okay.
go enjoy your dinner, or those of you in the East Coast, it's probably time for bed, right?
I got a
Thanks,
few more
everybody.
steps to get in.
Yeah, okay. Go get your steps
You
in.
do.
You took your tree down, Mia. Good job.
I did.
All right, everybody. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening.
All right, you
Thanks.
too.
Great
Appreciate you.
job,
Bye.
Sean.
Bye.
Bye.